Hi, I'm Dan Martell, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to evaluate a great enterprise SaaS salesperson so you don't end up paying somebody a huge base salary just so that they can drag their feet and not get you new customers. And be sure to stay at the end where I share with you an exclusive download called the Revenue Maximizer worksheet, where I'm going to walk you through the 4 pillars of adding specific features to your product to increase your lifetime value. So hiring your first enterprise salesperson, especially if you have a background in more marketing or technology, is a scary endeavor. They usually want some level of high base salary. They tell you they've got all these connections and knowledge and industry experience, and there's this big feeling of hope. You know, when I was building my company, Spheric Technologies, we sold to the Fortune 500 companies out there. I was 24 when I started the company, and I had to figure things out quick. And through that process, I've realized there's 6 specific areas that you need to evaluate that I had to learn how to get really good at. Even though I was not a natural salesperson, I didn't understand the concept of objections, any aspects whatsoever. And I know this to be true because one of my clients, Reg at Stormboard, you know, even though they have a freemium product where they have hundreds of people sign up every day, within their customer base, they get these big Fortune 2000 companies that want to deploy it to all their staff. So that sales process is totally different than obviously an SMB sales process. It requires understanding who the buyer is. It understands how to sell a POC, a proof of concept, how to get early commitment, and how to negotiate pricing at an enterprise level. So I want to walk you through the 6 steps or criteria to hire an incredible enterprise salesperson. Step number 1, navigating decision hierarchies in large organizations. Probably the most interesting thing that you will discover if you've ever tried to sell to an enterprise company is the fact that the person you're talking to that wants your product is not necessarily the person that's going to write the check, and is not necessarily the person that's going to approve the purchase in the long term. And there's probably several other people along that line that need to sign off at a certain degree. It could be compliance, it could be security, but the best enterprise SaaS salespeople understand how to uncover all the different buyers and the decisions that need to be made for your purchase or your product to be adopted by that company. Step number 2, find the buyer ASAP. Now, if you've ever had a customer on a call or doing a demo and they're all hot and bothered, they're excited, they want the solution, and then you quickly find out they A, don't have a budget, or B, don't have authority to purchase your product, it is the most frustrating thing you can uncover. So what you want is to find somebody that knows how to ask the questions to find the buyer ASAP. And it's not always the first person you have contact within that company. Step number 3, articulate your value prop. Now, I don't care what kind of product you're selling. Is it workflow software, notification software, you know, ERP software? At the end of the day, a great salesperson needs to be able to articulate your value proposition. And I'm not talking about just like selling in regards to, hey, here are the benefits and features, but really understanding what the customer's needs are, what their pain points are, talking about their potential vision, and then in the center of those 2 areas, the problem and the promise of your solution, discussing the value of your product in regards to solving and delivering on that promise. That needs to be evaluated, needs to be understood. So when you find that incredible enterprise salesperson, test them on that fact. Step number 4, handling objections. Now, if you've ever done sales, you know that the number 1 thing you need to get good at is taking rejection. Now, what usually comes up, it's not like, no, I don't want this, or this will never work. It's never as to the point as that. What typically comes up from a sales process is objections like, maybe this isn't the right time for us, or I'm not sure that this is going to solve our problem, or maybe the way that you guys are building the product or the way it would work wouldn't work for our kind of company. There could be a list of 50 different types of objections, and what you want to find in an incredible salesperson is somebody that knows how to systematically unpack the underlying objection, because you might have somebody say, well, we don't really have a budget. So you think it's a financial objection, but it's not. Great enterprise salespeople know how to unpack, target, get confirmation, answer in a non argumentative way and then get buy-in from the customer that would actually solve their problem, and then move on to the next objection. I actually have a whole training called the Objection Overrider that I teach my SaaS Academy clients, but that whole cycle needs to be present in a salesperson. If they don't know how to do that, and one of my favorite things I remember in a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes, he talks about when you hire A-player salespeople is to actually say to them, if they're great, say, hey, I'm not here in superstar or rockstar. I'm just not feeling like you've got what I'm looking for to hire a world-class salesperson. And if they aren't able to come back to you and systematically deal with that objection, then they're not in the right mindset to come and sell your product. So push them back in a hiring process to see how they come back and deal with that. If they crumble and fall to the ground, then move on. Step number 5, can they position you? When it comes to sales, it's not about talking crap about other products in the market. It's about saying, hey, here's what I heard you say, here's what result you want to achieve, and I believe our product can solve those problems with this feature, this feature, this feature. And if a competitor comes up in the conversation, well, we're talking to this company and we think that they have a better solution around that, your salesperson needs to be able to kind of handle that, but also deposition where they're weak at. So understanding all the competitors in the market, not pretending like there's nobody that competes against us. We're the only ones that deliver this kind of solution. That's just crazy talk. Know where they're weak and be able to deposition your competing solutions out there in the market and position you as the only option for your competitor. That characteristic needs to be present in a high-performing salesperson. Step number 6, know how to deal with IT. Yes, the company's buying your solution because they want an outcome, but at the end of the day, it's software, and especially at an enterprise level, there's gonna be some integration. Maybe it's single sign-on, maybe it's security, maybe it's the infrastructure that's gonna be installed or hosted on, maybe they want a single edition of your product. Regardless what it is, if you're hiring an enterprise salesperson, they need to know how to talk the language, how to move that decision process forward, and how to deal with IT so that they are on board, they're a champion of yours and not being a roadblock for that sale to go through. Quick recap. Number 1, you need to find somebody that knows how to navigate decision-making hierarchies in large organizations. 2, find the buyer ASAP. Number 3, articulate your value prop. Number 4, handle objections. Number 5, position you versus deposition the competitors. And number 6, know how to deal with IT. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I want to share with you the Revenue Expansion Maximizer so you have other product lines, modules, add-ons to be able to sell to your existing customer to increase your expansion revenue. Essentially, you need stuff for your salespeople to sell, especially if you only have one product. So below in the description, there's a link for you to download that worksheet. It's going to walk you through the 4 key areas that you need to consider about adding on some expansion revenue opportunities. That's super powerful, and I know it will really serve you. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and if you know somebody that could benefit, please share this with them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. You know it, and if you got it, you gotta show it. Show it. Don't hide the magic.